Again, I thought I would work on a colouring tutorial today, basic colouring, for this small icon that I have here. Several ways to colour stuff in Affinity or any vector program. So let's start off with kind of some kind of base colour. This may change. Go up here, take some kind of I'll keep it at a bit of a kind of a grey brown. Let's say this for now. We can always change it. And as per usual, I'll have my light source coming from here. Let's just color that so we know it's a... God, tear your eyes out that. We'll just leave it at that kind of weird, kind of strange greeny, sick colored sun. Right, so our basic light will be hitting the structure, and now you can, as I said, there's several ways to do this. I'm just looking at it now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the knife tool. I'm going to hit the control, K tool. K key to give me the knife tool, this shortcut, and I'm going to select the icon, and I'm going to, let's see, I'll cut from about here, and I'm going to then go inwards to mimic the side, the curvature of the structure, and we'll do the same here. We're going to go out and in here, and I think I'll probably come round here, and that, as you can see, will give me this slice. And for my magic trick, I'm going to Command X to put that in my RAM memory, and I'm going to Control Z until our cut is gone, and then I'm going to go Control V. That should have pasted correctly, but it didn't. And I'm going to change the color. So now we have our castle color. Now I could of course trace this. I could have cut it out using, I could have done something similar by doing a Boolean split, or trace this, but I think this is the fastest way, and because it doesn't need to be that precise, I'm happy enough with that for the moment. I'll make it a little bit darker for the moment as well. That's too dark at the moment, but I'll just I'll be chopping and changing it as needed. So we have the shadow here. Up here there'll probably be a little piece of sun hitting the, and we'll just make that curve. We're using the knife tool again. I'm making this cut here. I'm going to X that, put it into my memory, and I'm going to Control Z again. And when I place that, that should place in the, I'm not sure why that isn't placing on the exact place that I took it off. And we're just going to copy this color here. So we have our small bit of light there. If I want to make this straighter, obviously I can just go in and pull the line to how I want it. Same goes for this, but I don't really mind if everything isn't too straight. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect. I just get the handle. And now I suppose I should preface this. Why am I cutting bits of geometry out? Why am I? Because let's go over here. If you've seen any of my other tutorials, you'll know that if we were to create a cut, doing this very quickly, and we have this cut here, like so, you'll see that the white can actually be seen through. It's very hard to see, but it's not perfect, and you may get that kind of hairy structure. It looks slightly hairy here, where if you look here, the line is absolutely perfect because that white is not. It's just a property of vectors, and in some cases it'll be more visible than others. Again, I'm going to, because this part is coming out of the structure, I'm going to give it a little bit more light here. And because I have this as its own piece, I can take the knife tool and I can cut into it like so. And that gives the impression that some of the light is hitting that side. So okay, that's fine for the moment. Now there would probably be light hitting this structure here. Sorry, this side here. So we'll do the same. I'm going to take my knife tool, and I'm just going to pretty much do what I did. You can see tracing down and then go out a bit for here. And then of course I'm going to I'll go in a bit here. As you can see, I'm going to Control X that, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z until the line is, my original cut is gone. Then I'm going to Control V that, paste it, and it's pasted perfectly actually. So now we can just color it. And now we're getting excuse me, we're getting this kind of 3-tone effect. This is too dark, as I said, but I'll move it down maybe. Yeah, maybe. I mean, a lot of it is down to kind of what style you're after as well. I mean, you can always darken stuff up. So this is a basic icon, so we don't have to be too great. You know, we don't have to have too many gradations of the shade. Here, I'm going to do what we did over here, except I'm going to do the opposite because I'm assuming that some of the light wouldn't hit here. Do this and maybe something like that. Control X, Control Z, Control Z. Then can paste it on top and it pastes perfectly. And so we've got this effect. Here, some of the light would probably hit here, so I'm going to, let's see, create a node there and bring this over. Make it a bit tidier. So now some of the light is hitting here. More light would probably be hitting this part here because it would be sticking out. So let's create something using the pen tool. I've hit the P key for the shortcut key, so we've been given the pen tool here. And I'm going to just, for now, I'm just going to, for now I'm just going to do this type of structure. I'm going to get rid of it always annoys me, I forget when I go to the pen tool, I get this, the stroke. I'm going to get rid of that, and I'm just going to color that, get rid of the stroke up here, hit that little box, and then you go to your fill, and we'll just color it here, and we'll just bring it up a bit. So now that's sticking out a bit. And let's do it out here a bit more as well. And I'm going to knife tool this. And this is in the main color, which is darker than this highlight color here. So this is too light for it. So we will just pick our highlight color for this highlight now. And so we're left with something like this. Right. Then I want to get something even darker. I'm going to make a rectangle here, and I'm going to pick the darkest, and I'm going to make it darker again. And I'm going to bring it over here, and I'm going to put it behind the structure, so it now gives us the appearance that the windows are darker. So we have this. Problem now is that the windowsills are, I would say, they're too dark. It looks like they're a bit of glass. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just get rid of that, get rid of this. I'm going to recreate them by using a rectangle. Put it here, use the lighter, and we'll just duplicate it by holding Option and Shift, and that will give us two little windowsills. Oops. Yeah. Now, again, if you wanted to be a bit more detailed, there would be more light hitting the top of the windowsills. So, tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to delete this because I'm going to do this now. I'm going to duplicate that. I'm going to create a bit of a crazy color for a moment, and I'm going to Boolean this, so I'm left with this bit of shade. Then I'm going to take this bit of shade that I've just created, and I'm going to Control X, and I'm going to start Control Zing everything. And when I paste it, it'll be in the perfect place. I'll have to just bring it out a little bit more. So now we have a little bit of shading here to lift it. If we want to lift it more, which I would like to, I'll use the trapezoid tool. I probably could have just used, would have been quicker, the square tool, and make a little rectangle. So we'll just color pick this. So now this is kind of, that's sticking out a bit. If we take this and we duplicate it, we now have the windowsill done. If we want to make this bigger, like more shadow, we can just drag them out. So they look like they're even sticking out a bit more. Okay, so we're getting there. Let's clean this up a bit because it's a bit too rounded, I think. That's a bit better. Now we'll need some more shading, and I'm going to get the rectangle tool. I'm going to do this here, bring it out to about there. So now this area that sticks out of the structure would obviously cast a shadow underneath. And same would go for here. There would be more shadow in this particular area, so I'm going to just duplicate that up. I want to make this thinner though. Excuse me, I seem to have a bit of a frog in my throat. Now I could kind of leave this here like that, but I could also make it look a little bit better if I go get the knife tool and I separate it here, and we'll separate it here, and I'll just take this and I'm going to take that mid color there. This is fine because this is the darker color, and then for this I have to create a new color, go up here and bring it down to about there. So now that's just rounded it out, giving it a little bit more 3 dimensions. Can do the same up here. Knife tool again. Slice. I recommend, by the way, quick tip on the knife tool. Yeah, So that's, oh yeah, just getting those colors to match. If you're using the knife tool, I always, I never select it here and do this, even though, yeah, you see, I can't, I'll always do this. I'll get the knife tool and I'll go out and do that, and that'll give me that and even though this is kind of put on, it slit the geometry, but it hasn't slid it enough. It's giving me this kind of, whereas if I select your piece, you get your knife tool. Oh, sorry, I didn't. Sorry, didn't do it fully. So yeah, so always try and go out with your knife from, you know, here or whatever. Start from there as opposed to actually on this, because it'll kind of just cut it. Anyway, sorry, slight tangent. Okay, so now we have our slightly more three-dimensional shading, and I do the same here. Again, this doesn't have to be 100% accurate. It just has to look kind of okay, you know. It has to give the illusions of that what we're doing is correct. We're not trying to recreate ray tracing or anything like that. Yeah, so okay, for an icon, so far so good. Now you might have noticed I can tidy these up if I want to. Like I can bring this out to here, and I could you kind of bring these out a bit if I wanted to keep it tidy-ish, you know, just to match. It really depends, because like a lot of these kind of types of icons are going to be seen from a distance. You're not going to, I mean, you know, vectors look better when they're like seen at a distance like this or like this. I mean, when you're very up close, you can kind of see your not mistakes, but you can kind of see that the kind of the lines of the shading, which can kind of screw with your illusion. Right, so here I'm going to take this for a second. Let me just think of the right way to select this. Now I could, of course, take all these, deselect this one, and I could lock them and then perform what I'm about to do, but it's just too much hassle. I'm just going to take this, hold it out, and I'm going to get my knife tool, and I'm going to do something like this, bit of a wavy line. I'm going to select that again into the memory, start Control-Zing it, Control paste it, and I'm going to select this color, and I'm going to make it a color like this. So we have our piece, but our piece over this here. Let's make the windows blue just for a giggle. Let's try kind of a dark blue here, and then a lighter blue here, something like that. And when it goes back in, it gives the kind of impression that the light is hitting this part of the window, and you know, and this is the dark piece. And you can of course go in and fiddle with this if you think that you want, you know, something like that. That's just a quick idea there. So you have your kind of semi-translucent windows, arrow slits or whatever. Another thing we can do as well, I'm going to take the pen tool and I'm going to go here. Yeah, I'll hold shift to kind of constrain the angles. Okay, I won't do it for this, but I'll do, and you'll see what I'm doing. I'm going to, castles or forts windows are always inset, so I'm just going to add this to make it look inset. If I could make it even look more inset if I wanted to, do something like this. Yep, yeah, well, that'll work. I'm going to duplicate that, and I'm just going to pop it in. So now we have our two arrow slits colored. Here again there would be light coming down, so I'm going to get our square tool and make a rectangle, something like this. Probably leave a bit of space between this and the other. I'll select this, bring it up to maybe there. Yeah, that'll do. And we're going to do our trick. We're going to get our knife tool and we're going to just cut roughly, try and mimic the shape of the other shading. Doesn't have to be too accurate. And I'm going to select the highlight color for there, and I'm going to select the mid-tone for there. I'll bring this out a bit. Hold Shift to constrain. Do it again. Hold Shift, and that'll be enough for there. Right. Yeah, I'm just. Where else can we shade? Of course, we could. This is looking a bit dark here, so I'm going to take that to mid-tone there. There'd probably be a bit of shading here. I could use the pen tool. Yeah, we'll use the pen tool. Just going to. Now, I should point out that I could easily do the shading a lot quicker by doing this. Boom, make it black, and then hit the opacity down to something like this, and then we have this. So that would be the quicker way, right? Actually, I should have showed you this first, but there's a reason I haven't. I'm just going to, and the reason I haven't is because I will probably use this little lad as part of a stock image. And one of these websites will not accept transparency like this. So that means that I have to shade them individually as pieces of color. So yeah, that's why I'm doing it that way. I'm going to get the knife, select that skeleton, get the knife. So yeah, if you're not constrained by some stock agency or something, then it's of course a lot easier to do it that way. Although having said that, I kind of prefer the results from colors. I think that if you use transparencies, they can look a little bit washed out. So I'm also not color picking here too much, because I want to do, it wouldn't be as dark, it would only be slightly dark. So now we're kind of back to where we were, maybe, if that's dark enough. We could always darken it if we wanted to. So that's kind of roughly our kind of little shape. Or we could also put a little bit of kind of highlight here, because like as if the light was coming in and hitting. What does that look like? That's very subtle. Let's bring them out a bit, the colors. Yeah, it's still quite subtle, but I think it should work. So that's it for now. Again, you can start taking these to ridiculous levels. So if we look at it here, we could say that's nice and finished, but we could also decide to add in more gradients or gradation of shading. So I could, for example, go here and do come in here and start I don't know if this will work actually, because I think because once you kind of stop let's have a look. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to Control Z that. Sorry, and I'm going to do that again because I need to be. I kind of went off the screen, which was unfortunate because that means the knife tool kind of goes a bit haywire. So we'll just do this again. Something like this. We'll take this and we'll exit into the memory, and when we paste it, we should get something like this. But as you can see, actually I'm going to just see if I can kind of get a better color for that. Yep, that's a better color, I think. But as you can see, by adding this piece of shading, which I've just did, this extra layer of shading, I have to start adjusting the rest of the illustration where it kind of catches over. Yeah. You probably get away with it for the darker bits, but I think for the shadow you'd need to come in and do your extra shadow as well. What happened there? Sorry, wrong short key. So your knife tool, there's our new piece. There we go. So now we have our extra bit of shading. Again, I'm just going to go in for the darker bits and make it slightly lighter as well as it would be. Select that lid. I think this corner's a bit harsh. Hit the corner tool just to round it out a bit. Convert to curves. I think we'll do another layer. Get or another layer of shading here. Get the knife tool. I'm going to hold Shift so it goes nicely across here. Control X. Undo everything. Control Paste, and then we'll just. So that kind of brings that base out a bit. And let's just line these up a bit. So, and I think I'll probably have to come in here to do these. So I'll just straighten that out using turning them back into sharp angles up here using that shortcut, and we'll carry this on. Get our knife tool and let's see, pick that because it wouldn't be. So there we have our this is this kind of color here is a bit janky. I don't like it. I don't think it So I'm going to try and pick it again. Looks a bit sickly or something. Yeah, I think that's probably better. Yeah. You could probably, there'd probably be a bit of light here, just about here, I'd say. Just on the end of the bit before it starts to go in. Let's just see how that would look. I'm going to go all white, and then we'll just use a transparency on it just to see, should it work? Yeah, I think it will work. Bring it down a bit, convert to curve so I can bring this out. Yeah, it gives it an extra layer, I think, but make it a bit subtler, I think. Something like that, maybe. So let's do a little trick here. Let's duplicate that for a second. As I said, I can't really use transparencies if I'm going to send this into the stock site. So I'll have to do my Control K. Sorry, just K, no Control, sorry. And we'll knife this up so we can add our highlights. But what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to select this color. This will actually be you can basically select the color even though this is transparent. I'm just going to select it, and Affinity will think that it's just a regular color, even though it's not, because you can see it's 5% here. See, that's, but yet I've been able to pick all those colors. So that's another, just a little trick. And that pretty much is it for now. So there's our basic shading. Probably I'd put maybe another gradient in here or another bit of shading. You could also do something like this. I know I said it was it, but you could also do something like this. I'm just doing this quickly. That would give it, oops, even, oh, sorry, I didn't go far enough. Something like this would give it a bit more depth. And you could make that even more, you know, if you wanted to make it brighter, it would add even more depth. So yeah, bring this out a bit more. Yeah. And we'll just copy it down. Take my knife tool, I think. Well, no, actually, let's just do it this way. Let's add some kind of highlight to the inside of the, something like this, to make that stand out. And of course we can just copy those two now and bring them down. And we could of course do this. Just using the pen tool. I'm going to make it even a little bit darker. Use this as again, I'm being a bit rough and ready with this. I'm not, again, that'll give us even more detail. Yeah, I think that'll do. Again, if we wanted even more detail, you could, I'm going to get the pencil tool, and I'm just going to drag something in for the moment here. I'm going to close this. Usually I leave them open, but again, if it's going to an agency, I'll want it. I take it as well. I might turn it slightly. I'm going to take these two, pick those colors, make it slightly darker, and I'm going to place them, yeah, just about there. So now that gives us even more shading for our little Fort Castle-y thing. You could even, excuse me, I'm gonna actually, oops, what's going on? Am I overcooking it now? I don't know. Probably, but what the hell? Let's Control K, sorry, K. Why do I keep saying Control K? K again. K again, and we'll just pick our colors. Oh, I didn't do that one, did I? Okay, well, that's okay. Yeah, so we have this. I still think that there's probably too much of a kind of a gradation in color from these to this, but anyway, you get the idea that that's how we might shade something. And of course you could kind of put like dents in it and stuff. I mean, really, you can go, even though this is only an icon, you can kind of go become as detailed. I mean, it might have some damage or cracks. Maybe that'll be for another tutorial, doing some cracks or something. Yeah, okay, so thanks for joining me. Hope you found this protracted tutorial useful, but yeah, let me know anyway in the comments. Take care.